Hello, this is Andrew, and I guess this is just another update on the game I've been working on. I've actually added a lot of features since the last update. Not too big, but a lot of small features, I guess. So I guess right now I'm gonna demonstrate them to you guys. Let's start off with the visual effects that I've added. So as you can see, as the player character moves, she now emits these dust particles off the ground. It might look really simple to you guys, but it actually took me a while to wrap my head around how to exactly handle something like this. There's actually a lot of things you need to think about from a programming perspective. So, first example would be where exactly these particles spawn would be her feet. So I had to offset that off the character's position coordinates in the world. And second of all, when these particles exactly spawn. So, she had to spawn when her feet touches the ground. So I had to set it so that these particles spawn exactly on the frame that the character's animation of her feet touches the ground. So there's that. But probably the most complicated part of this would be the particles movement. So as you can see, these particles are actually not static in the world. They're moving in relation to the character, oppositely to where the character's moving towards, so moving away from the character, right? So, you have to set the velocity in the opposite direction, first of all, but second of all, I had to make them proportionate to the character's speed. So as you can see here, if the character's moving slowly, then the dust particles aren't moving that much away from the character, but if she's full on running, then the dust particles are actually being pushed away by her feet, like a lot more. So there's that, dust particles, most complicated thing in the world. Okay, those are done. So second of all, I'm sure you've noticed, but I've added new visual elements to the player's dash. As you can see, these are actually not just simple sprite animations, but I'm actually using the Unity particle system. I actually familiarized myself with the particle system a few days ago and found it pretty intuitive. I guess you could say I'm comfortable with them right now. They actually don't take a lot of time to come up with these cool effects, and I can see myself adding these particle effects to other elements of the game, such as maybe I can add them to projectiles, enemy projectiles, player projectiles. I can even add these particle effects to the sword of the character when emissions when she attacks. I guess that'd be pretty cool. So I'll add that to the bucket list, I guess. And if you want to see the comparison from what the dash actually looked like, let me just show you here. If I disable the particle effects, if you remember what my dash looked like from the previous update, it was a simple after image effect, which is I guess that was sufficient, but I thought it could have looked better. So I simply overlaid those effects with Unity's particle system. So that's how I did it. I was actually trying to imitate infamous Second Son's dash animations. So let me just search up Google Images here. Infamous Second Son tools type animated dash. I really love the visual effects from this game. The technical artists really know what they're doing. If this will just load. So yeah, as you can see, these effects are just really cool, and that inspired inspired quote unquote the particle systems I had here. So thanks, Infamous. Okay, those are visual effects. Done. Let's now I guess I'm just gonna get into the more gameplay oriented features that I added since the last update. So first of all would be the stamina system. Stamina system. Okay. As you can see from the bottom left of the screen, you have these three arrows, and as the player dashes, the three arrows decrease one by one and regenerate as time passes, as specific amount of time passes. So about the stamina system, I spent 2 or 3 hours on it, and after actually testing it with the game, with the combat and everything, I'm actually not sure if I should keep it. I'm actually thinking about removing it right now, because the thing about stamina systems is that they drastically slow down the pace of gameplay and combat. And for this game, I really wanted the combat to feel fluid, fast, dynamic, responsive. And when you have a stamina system, when the player pushes a dash button and they can't dash because the stamina has run out, that's not responsive, man. It doesn't feel good, you know? So yeah, I don't know. I might have a workaround for that issue, or I might remove it completely. Who knows? Okay, that's the dash system. No, that's the stamina system covered. Next up is health regeneration. I actually added a new way that the player can regenerate her health in-game. So when I press a specific button on the keyboard or the controller, boop, the player eats a cupcake. Yeah, cupcakes. So I actually had a lot of fun animating this. It's really cute animation. Nom nom. So as you can see on the bottom left corner of the screen, again, there's a new cupcake icon, and when I eat the cupcake, a cute little clock animation plays. So as a parent, the cupcake mechanic relies on a cooldown system. So there's an amount of time that has to pass by in between her health regens, I guess. Initially, I was thinking of implementing an inventory system instead of this cooldown mechanic. So for example, she'll have an X amount of cupcakes in her bag, and she can't eat any more cupcakes if she doesn't have any more cupcakes in her bag. So instead of a cooldown system, there'll be a number attached to the amount of cupcakes she has. But after trying to code that, I just gave up because I'm not that good enough of a coder yet to figure out how to code an inventory system. Inventory systems are hard, man. I don't know how RPG developers do it. I don't know. I'm gonna have to read up on programming in the following weeks if I want to actually implement that. But I don't know. Cooldown's okay for now, I guess. Cooldown's fine. So those are the new features I've added. One other thing is a new enemy type that I made over the few weeks. So don't mind the stick figures, they're just temporary placeholder sprites. I'm actually planning on making them like demons or something, but these enemies actually shoot projectiles towards the player. So as my idea for this game was initially like a hack and slash bullet hell, I guess this is a step in toward that direction. When the player if the player hits these projectiles, they can actually slice them in two, which renders them like useless. They can't damage the player anymore. So that's pretty cool, I guess. I've actually been having this idea where the player can actually hit these projectiles back towards the enemy like a baseball, and I can see it as a challenge, I guess. It won't be too easy to program, but I don't know. I think I'm gonna need that as a player upgrade or something. So look forward to it in the following updates. So yeah, I guess that's all all the features that I've had added since the last update. Of course, there were bug fixes as well. There's a lot of bugs, man. Like, I'm not a good coder, and when I started this game, I was an even worse coder. So yeah, the framework for this game is actually not that great, man. Um, so because of that, it's been getting really hard to add new features on top of one another, and it's getting harder, even harder to fix bugs that pop up. So yeah, I might have to restructure everything, um, do some refactoring a bit before the next update rolls around. But yeah, I guess that's all the new features that I've added. One other thing that one other thing that's been bugging me for a while is how cute this game looks. I don't know. I don't know if I want this game to look cute as it is. Like, she eats a cupcake, right? And I don't know. I wanted cupcakes, but the environment overall is like just pastel green, right? I don't know. It doesn't fit in with her. She looks like a ninja, right? A ninja vampire gothic kind of sci-fi whatever girl. So I think she'd fit in a more post-apocalyptic or cyberpunk environment instead of this pastel green. So I might have to draw that for the next update as well. So there's that. I'll add that to my bucket list. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you'll tune in for my following updates and for when this game actually releases. I hope it'll release, man. I have to finish this game. I have to finish this game soon, but I don't know if I have the time. So again, thanks for watching.